I think this one right here is going to be more of a yap session, by the way, but I've been watching a couple of Cargos' videos recently, and this one right here is Blizzard just took a huge gamble. This single change saves or kills TBC. We're going to check this one out, see what he has to say, and see if I agree or disagree on what he is saying, okay? A bit of a more relaxed video than all of the do this right now in the pre-patch or be left behind forever, and do this right now, prepare now. More of just a chill yap session, okay? I think. That's what I'm assuming.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft Classic video. My name is Cargos, and today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind.
I moved myself into the top left, by the way. I'm just gonna double check here if he's gonna stay on camera, because like usually he does in most of the app sessions. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right.
It's something that could be a bigger deal than we think. I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on it. So it's possible that what Blizzard has done is going to have a big impact on TBC Anniversary. And I'm going to kind of think it through with you guys in real time here, and I want us to get a conversation going, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Like, what do you guys think based on where we are as a community right now, what we've gotten used to, et cetera, et cetera. And the change I'm talking about is we all knew they were going to have a boost, right? And there was a $40 Warp Stalker boost the first time around in TBC circa 2021.
You know, honestly, I thought he was gonna talk about the post-nerf versus pre-nerf. Are we talking about the ability of boosting Blood Elf and Draenei?
And this time around is no exception. They sold an $80 bundle that came with some game time, some cosmetics, some stuff like that, right? And that was whatever too. Then they decided that you could boost Blood Elf and Draenei, and that was whatever too. But the main thing is that it's unlimited. Now I know a lot of us type down below how many accounts you guys have. I think probably the majority of people have one, but a pretty sizable amount of people have two. And then having more than two is, I'd say, pretty rare. But there's something about the boost being unlimited. It feels different, and I'm trying to kind of visualize how TBC Anniversary is going to go. So it's January 10th right now. Pre-patch is in 3 days. People are preparing for pre-patch. They're getting their JC, their profession stuff ready. They're farming gold. They're getting ready. They're boosting alts and Hail Mary boosting alts with like mages and SM and ZG and all that, right? Everyone's just preparing, getting ready. There's a lot of hype in the air. But as soon as we hit pre-patch, we're going to wake up and there's going to be hundreds, thousands of boosted characters everywhere, right?
The battlegrounds in the pre-patch, by the way, are going to be so horrible. I can't wait. It's gonna be a shit show, but I'm here for it, man. It's gonna be so many communal gear Andes in these battlegrounds. It's gonna be lovely.
Doesn't bother me so much. I mean, it's going to be kind of interesting to see that. But what I'm getting at, man, is because it's unlimited, there will be people that, have too much time and money on their hands, and they will be buying like 10, 15 characters, right? And these characters are level 58. They're high enough to actually get high-level transmutes and profession cooldowns. So, I mean, if you were very like business-minded or you wanted to make a ton of gold, like it would just be an investment vehicle. You could buy these characters, get professions leveled up on them, and just over time make back your investment from profession cooldowns, right? And also, the other thing I'm thinking about is it going to lead to more bots? And how's Blizzard been doing with bots in general? You guys tell me. I don't really care about this stuff so much. I just I hear about it from you guys. I know it's a big deal, but yeah, I just don't know. I just actually don't know if it's gotten any better or any worse. But that's one of the first things that comes to my mind too. Like, is there going to be rampant bots everywhere? Because it's kind of a pain in the ass to get another account going, right? My gut tells me they should actually limit it to one per account. I think that's actually going to be like a velocity control on people just going crazy. And, someone going like, oh, just made an extra couple $100 this week. Let me just buy like, let me just buy like 6 characters, and I'm not trying to say it's all bad. Like there's good in this too, potentially, right? It's much more easy to have alts. I think the arena scene benefits from this. I think there's going to be a lot more people in the arena. And they've also boosted the amount of points you get from the looks of it on the PTR. I think gear is cheaper. You get more points in 2s and 3s and 5s. So this, I mean, TBC could be amazing for arena. But I just think about it, right? So we're getting very sensitized to like this hyper commercialized meta of WoW, right? You get summoned all over the place. You pay like an industry standard gold rate to get teleported all around the world. That was a thing in vanilla. It'll still be a thing in TBC. I think it'll be like a little bit less valuable because it's kind of small. You just jump on your mount and fly anywhere in a couple minutes. But yeah, I mean, I think about like Primal Might, for example. That is a alchemy cooldown, if I'm not mistaken, and it's used to create a lot of powerful items, like some of pretty sure the Deep Thunder Warrior Mace, that turns into Storm Herald, and probably Dragon Maw and all that stuff too requires that, right? And that's a very expensive cooldown. And some people back in 2021, if they had a ton of level 60s that they leveled on 1x, were actually able to, they just spent a lot of time leveling those characters up, benefit from them and get alchemy on them and sell those primal mites and make a ton of money. Like if there's a 58 boost that's unlimited, right? Like maybe the price of primal mite goes way down. Is the economy potentially going to become cheap? I don't know. Any economist Andy's in the house, right? If there's tons of supply, and the demand is also going to scale a bit with that supply, but I don't think it's going to match it and be proportionate. What's going to happen? Probably just going to get lower prices, right? And I know people that even in vanilla, when there are big bot ban waves, and I remember there was a time, I think it was during SOM, where they banned a ton of bots, and the economy like kind of froze. Like you couldn't buy, there's like nothing on the auction house. No one was actually farming in SOM. Everybody was just like swiping and buying.
I think this unlimited boost, by the way, will have a bigger impact when it comes to, you're gonna see who's wailing and who's willing to spend basically hundreds of bucks on the game itself, because bots is basically gonna have, it's gonna have negative to zero impact on the bots that you can buy unlimited boost, because the thing is, they basically had unlimited boost to begin with. If a bot got banned in 2021, well, the account is banned. It is not the character that gets banned, right? The whole account is banned. They have to start a new account, and a new account means they buy a new boost, even if it's one per account. The one thing that will have an impact on botting here is that you can now buy a standalone boost instead of buying the whole pack. So the basically the what is it called again? The starting point gets easier. The barrier to entry is lowered. Instead of having to spend $80 for the Outland pack, for example, they will now have to spend whatever the price is of the standalone boost instead. So that let's just say the standalone boost is $40, right? Well, that means the barrier to entry for botting now has gone from $80 to $40. So they can make half as much gold before they get banned and still make the same profit. Essentially.
Stuff off the auction house, and people were actually unironically going like, oh, I missed the bots, man. Like there's no ecos to buy on the auction house, and people were, that was a thing. So these are all the things that cross my mind. Like I'm curious like what you guys think is going to happen here at TBC anniversary. So one thing to consider is, right, easy content is not necessarily bad. I think the number of like bleeding edge raiders out there who care about progging and having this like enjoying the grind of progging through stuff and grinding through hard content together. I don't know if that's the classic Andy. I feel like a lot of us, we want to get the dopamine of getting gear and just like having this stuff fall over. And like, that's why Era is kind of popular in a way. That's why people like vanilla, right? It's not even so much about how hard it is. It's just kind of fun to go in there, blast through everything real quick and be done with your day. Like, and we're at an age now where a lot of us are older, and it's like, dude, sitting in Discord for like 4 hours twice a week, that's like exhausting. And a lot of us are like on a fuse, right, towards just like not being able to sustain that. Myself included. Like I can raid for a while, a decent while, like maybe 6 months, something like that. But then I eventually kind of burned out. So like the easier content in a way could be easy. I mean, it could be nice, could be fun. Like I looked at the post-nerf Karazhan. I watched this video by S-Fan today. He was going through it, and he did gruels, and dude, this stuff was falling over, bro. Like it's actually easier than Ubers. It looked like, honestly, the equivalent of doing. Nah, it was like Ubers. Yeah, Kara is basically like Ubers, and that's pretty much what it is. And then Gruul and Mags are also nerfed as well. So
I will say Karazhan in a post-nerfed state, by the way, is probably gonna be very easy. I mean, Karazhan back in the day, pre-nerf, wasn't too hard either. I remember going back into Karazhan back in the day, pre-nerf, and also like Heroic Dungeons pre-nerf. I unironically think Karazhan was easier than doing dungeons. So raids, even in their pre-nerf state, was easier than doing dungeons. That being said, I did not do Gruul and Mag in their pre-nerf state, so I cannot comment on those, but those are the ones that, based on what I can hear, are the hard ones, or like the at least harder raids with more mechanics in them. But then again, to be fair, when I raided Karazhan early, I was not on my boomkin yet. I was healing as a holy paladin, so like my mechanic was dispelling what needs to be dispelled, and make sure that red bars become green. So like it wasn't really hard for me anyway. I look at a bar, if it goes red, make it go green.
I mean, we had easy content the first time around. Phase 1 stuff fell over as
Yeah.
well, so like this is just gonna be a little bit more easy. But this PvE content's gonna be pretty brain dead in Phase 1. So like Phase 2 is probably gonna be the turning point where the game is actually, you know, ignites something in the speedrunners, the
I've been talking quite a bit about the pre-nerf and post-nerf myself, by the way, and I think if Blizzard has to make a choice, to me, post-nerf is the best choice. Because, like, not a lot of people quit because the content is too easy. If the content is too easy, they find a way to make it hard. They either start bringing less people to get more loot, or they start speedrunning. That being said, every single time that content becomes hard, we see guilds disbanding, people quitting, because now they have to find new people to raid with. It's basically a skill plus a gear check that not everybody can handle. We see it time and time again in Ulduar, in Wrath, like both in OG Wrath, that's what sparked certain private servers to show up, and also Wrath Classic. That's when we saw a lot of people stop playing Wrath, stop raiding as much, and guilds disbanding. The amount of guild drama that happened during the Ulduar phase was kinda crazy. But I do believe that for the most part, post-nerf is the best decision, but I also feel like we live in a world right now where you don't have to make the decision. There should be an ability or like availability of doing both. Season of Discovery. The heat level mechanic from Molten Core have that apply to pre-nerf and post-nerf, and give people the choice when they enter the raid. Do you want to have the pre-nerfed version of the raid or the post-nerf version of the raid?
raiders, the people who like to kill the robot every week and see their improvements. You know, some classes are going to be a little bit less effective in this really, really short kill time window meta. You know,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like Shadow Priests and classes that bring a bit more utility instead of just like raw pump. You know, like they may not be enjoying it so much. This stuff's going to be absolutely falling over. There's going to be tons of alts, so that I could see that in a world being fun where people just they have a ton of alts. Carousel Pinata, they go through there. They have like 8 characters, all with like epic kind of raid gear, and they're just like feeling good about themselves.
You know, I'm just gonna say something here. I don't think that people play Classic particularly for hard content. I think there's a reason why every time we see content become hard, people stop interacting with it as much, and sometimes it breaks the guilds as well and disbands them. I don't think people want really hard content in Classic. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that's a L take. Honestly, I don't really care. I think so. I think people just don't want super hard content. They want a game they can just chill, play, meet up with their friends, kill some bosses, get some loot. If you wipe once or twice, that's cool. That's okay. But I mean, in Classic right now for Anniversary, I feel like people are expecting smooth runs. So like once again, people are expecting the raids to go smooth. They don't want the raids to be hard. If you have one wipe, typically nothing happens. If you have 2 or 3 wipes, somebody always leaves. It's happened in almost all of my pugs. When you start having more than just one wipe, someone leaves. And then it's over.
The PvP gear is easier to get than ever, right? There's the blue honored rep. gear in from the start. So like by the time you hit 70, you pretty much buy a full BG set of blue gear, like 5 pieces, right? And then if you play your cards right, like what I'm doing, I'm gonna hopefully just hit 70, go buy my epic sword from Honor.
I don't think people want too easy content either. I don't think so either, but I don't think it's too easy. The only thing I would say, a Karazhan might be a little bit on the easier side, but I don't think it's too easy. I mean, I've been watching multiple streamers. Instead of streaming my own public test realm experience, I've been tuning into pretty much every single content creator out there, and looking at their raids, where they are either making a stream raid or a pug raid, and out of all of these content creators, not a single one has done all of the raids in a post-nerf state without a wipe. When I tuned in, every person that I've seen has been wiping, and some people wiped more than once. These are TBC content creators that played TBC the first time. They know the mechanics, most of their viewers know the mechanics as well, and they know what buttons to press, and they still wipe. And sure, you can say that some of their viewers don't know the mechanics, don't know how to play their class, but the fact that the raid leader does, he can then give commands on his stream as well, by the way, so like voicing what to do, both before the pull and during the pull, and they still wipe. The raids are not going to be brain dead easy.
Their Thrallmar, and then grind out some lower city, finish that off, get the offhand, you know. There's also a ton of BOEs that are really good in TBC. Stuff like Blink Strike, and there's the Warrior offhand. So, man, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and the people that I just talked about, by the way, like you said here, Tarkov, on the Kick Chat, these are the people that have the PTR, which also shows that they're already interested in the game, at least enough to play on a public test realm, which to me kind of indicates that they're not the biggest casual player base, because most casuals don't even bother interacting with the public test realm. So if content creators are wiping on the public test realm, with other people that are willing to play on the public test realm, I don't think the raids are too easy. Because these are people that probably know the raids better than most people when they're willing to play on a test realm. Most casuals are not doing that.
I think for Arena, and that's obviously like where my heart is at. Like that's the thing that really draws me to TBC. I like the world too, and everything like that. But I think it's gonna be good for Arena. We're gonna be able to have a lot of characters, you know. And Arena is actually more casual. It sounds more hardcore, but it's actually kind of more casual than PvE in a way, because you just have to cap some games, and then that's it. That's your obligation done. You do it at your own pace. You put in as much as you want to put in, and you just walk away whenever. But this is the other point I want to bring up is GDKP. GDKP in TBC. I feel like it was a big part of like Benediction and Fairlena and the GDKP.
There we go, dude. That's the juicy topic that everybody wants to hear about. Let's go.
Meta was, to many people's mind, too much. It was toxic, whatever. But it was very much there. It was like a cultural staple of TBC. Like, and people buying glaives, and what's the market price of glaives, and people buying this item and that item, and it kept, you know, GDKP actually. If you're a PvE Andy and that's what you enjoy raiding and gearing and stuff like that, like, is that kind of your end game? Is that kind of the thing that, like, is that the core gameplay loop that keeps you locked in and invested and like feeling a certain type of way where you care, you're tapped in, you know? It's like running GKP, how much is the payout, guess what dropped, you know, kind of the stakes of it. So I don't know, like the
Also, yo, I just wanted to like talk about your comment real quick here, FDF. I understand where you're coming from. They're wiping, but here's my question. Now that they've all refreshed their memory on how the raids work, would they wipe it all in week 2? I don't think so. And neither do I. And I think that's the point. By week 2, people don't want to wipe anymore. When it comes to TBC, what you're going to see is that a lot of people will go there, and you might have some wipes in week 1, but after week 1, the people that did the raid in week 1, they're going to look at week 1 as a refresher. In phase 2, you are back to expecting the raids to be smooth, you're tolerating a wipe here and there, but once again, if you have too many wipes, that's when you start leaving. That is the mentality that I've seen, at least, in the pugging scene on the anniversary servers a lot. And the same thing happened like in pretty much every raid of Anniversary as well. Week 1, it's or at least week 1, week 2, maybe week 3, you are more forgiving on people not knowing the mechanics, but after like a certain amount of time, which usually is 1, 2, or 3 weeks, you expect people to now know the mechanics, and you want the raids to be smoother.
Content being easy, loot pinata, all that is kind of akin to vanilla WoW and like how Era is right now. But Era has GDKP. And the Era people, guys, like I don't know if you see it. They love Era. You can't tell them anything, dude. They got like, you know.
Yeah, Level Devil, you are damn right about that, dude. What I want to say here on the GDKP thing, by the way, is that I don't want a GDKP in TBC Anniversary. And before anybody, like, spits on me for having this take, by the way, I'm going to say I want us to get TBC Era. And I want TBC Era to have a GDKPs. The reasoning for me having this take is that number 1, back in TBC the first time we had the GDKPs, this right here is possibly the only chance we will have to ever experience the Burning Crusade without the GDKPs in it. It will be the only time you will ever experience this, very likely. So give people that chance, and by doing so, you also make sure that when TBC Era comes out, by allowing GDKPs on TBC Era will be insanely popular. But to me, this is a win-win-win. Everybody wins. The only people that don't win are the people that really, really want GDKP while TBC is in progression. But I think if you just make them wait until TBC Era gets GDKP on it, they will also play TBC Era. So, like, once again, just everybody wins.
Dwarf Lord and Greek Wario running a tight ship over there, like the Era people just chugging the Kool-Aid from the fire hose. And up, good for them, man. They're keeping the torch lit for vanilla. I'm all about it, even though I think Era's a Frankenstein. So I'm curious, man. I'm curious what you guys think. Like, what are your predictions for TBC Anniversary? It's likely going to be less duration than vanilla. I don't think you can run TBC for as long as vanilla. Like, it's probably going to be 1 year, right? I think Anniversary was 14, 15 months.
I think TBC is going to be 14 months, and then we get Wrath in May. So that would be 14, 15 months, 15 months, I guess, of TBC. Wrath in May next year. Because I still think we're getting Wrath.
Or something like that, but by the time it's all done. Here's my prediction, though. Like, I think Tier 5 is going to be the turning point. Like, we're either going to see if it's going to be, if the raiding community is still enjoying themselves, like, or not. Because Phase 1 was always a loot pinata. It always fell over. Even the first time around, it was pretty much a joke. And that's why people were getting frustrated after a while in 2021, if you remember, thinking, Blizzard, this is too long of a Phase 1. So, we'll see. We'll see. SSC, TK, maybe that gets...
Yo, I like to hear that it's not just my cat that is meowing in the background of videos. His dog is barking in the background as well.
The juices flowing for the raiding community. The other thing is, like, Karazhan being easier than heroics is kind of just a weirdo move, like...
Yeah, to me, this is the one thing I think is weird, by the way, because the raids in TBC were already harder, or no, not harder, easier than dungeons, per my experience. And now the raids are going to be vastly easier than the dungeons. Like, to me, that just doesn't fit the difficulty curve that I have when it comes to content in video games in general. Dungeons, to me, are a stepping stone towards raids. And now it feels the other way around, where you just level up and do the raid and then start doing dungeons. Why?
I like heroics. They're fun to run. I think, like, the actual difficulty of TBC heroics, especially on private servers and stuff, was really fun. I enjoyed it. Like, but it has to make sense to run the heroic. Like, you have to want the gear out of there. And I don't know if you want the gear out of heroics. Like, if you're trying to just take the path of least resistance, get most bang for your buck, like, play the game and just gear in, like, the least amount of time possible, it's honestly just the arena, dude. You go in there, like,
yeah,
you get tons of points per week. You just buy a full blue BG set. You queue your games of 5s. You push, even if you're like 17, 1800, something like that, like, you're getting insane points. Like, and you'll just, over time, get fully kitted out in, like, very powerful gear, right? So it'll be interesting. Like I don't know if people are going to want to do the heroics so much. I mean, they will. I'm thinking about it now. You need the badge gear. There is really good badge gear pieces like the Choker of Vile Intent. We're talking Bloodlust Brooch, Icon. There will be people running heroics. It's just sort of a weird move that it's tuned potentially harder than Kara.
It's a really weird move.
Strange. And I think that the unlimited boosts is to be determined if that's going to be a good or a bad thing. My prediction, it's a bad thing overall for the game. Like, it's going to unleash the Krakens quite literally, dude. There will be people with like 20 characters, bro. Like, there are some
Yeah.
Oilers in this game that play this game that are like full stack engineers that work from home, already married, already have kids, and they just need something to spend their money on, man. And they're not into motorcycles, they're not into, guns or whatever you're into, right? They're into WoW, and they're just like, oh, this is not TOS. I'm just getting 20 characters, and I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see.
I know one person, by the way, who leveled up 20 level 60 characters in the Classic WoW Anniversary for the purpose of making gold with alchemy and tailoring in TBC. Like, all he only played Anniversary to prepare himself for TBC and leveled up all of these characters to get alchemy and tailoring and print gold in TBC with the cooldowns. He's in shambles. That is so feels bad, man. He spent like probably 10 hours per day boosting himself. Well, maybe less than that, but like playing the game a lot over the last 1.5 years we've had Anniversary, or 1 year and 2 months, I guess. Playing the game a lot. 20 characters is a lot, by the way, even if you're mage boosting on 2 accounts, but still, it's a lot of time investment, and now you can just buy the boost. Assuming it's $40 per boost. He could have just not done this and spent $800 instead. He probably spent thousands of hours doing this, by the way. Or at least a few thousand, like 2 or 3 or 4,000, I don't know.
Overall, though, I'm excited for TBC. It's just a beautiful place to be. Like, the zones are awesome, and I couldn't be more excited for the arena. Obviously, I have some projects in the
Guy called Ledren has 4960s. In Anniversary? No way, is he such a gamer in Anniversary? I know they do the games, but 4960s in Anniversary only, really? Because for me, I have 2560s, but it's not Anniversary. Like, if you combine all of my Classic WoW leveling, I've done 2560s, but I've pretty much only been questing and done minimal boosting at all. Yeah, Ledrin is a gamer. We've been reacting to a couple of his videos in the past. He raided me as well a few days ago. Absolute gamer. If he's live when I go offline, I'll probably throw the raid back.
tank with arena, and I feel like I'm getting a lot of the rank 1 and gladiator and the people that are normally people would perceive as very like gatekeepy or insular or whatever. I don't know, something about it, man. Something in the air. People are a lot more like open and willing to share and willing to be cool, and not as like, it was not as much ego as before. It's probably because we've done it before a couple times, right? So it's people really have stuff to prove, and like they're down to like, I don't know, give back, be softer. So I'm optimistic about the arena community. I'm hoping to get a lot of people, non-endemic arena people, into it and enjoying it. And specifically twos, I think it's just an awesome format, man, in all games. So let me know what you guys think below. Is the unlimited boost in TBC, is it the best or worst change they could have made to Anniversary? Give me your predictions. Let's get a conversation going. I made that Classic Plus equals TBC hot take video the other day, and we got like,
I think unlimited boost, like he says, might unleash the Kraken. I think some people are happy about it, though. Like, a lot of people are happy about it. At least the ability to be able to boost the Blood Elf and Draenei, because not everybody has enough time to level those up by themselves in the pre-patch, which is completely understandable, by the way, because 3 weeks pre-patch, if leveling takes, let's say, 80 hours, and you're playing every day, that is 4 hours on average. Number one, not everybody can play every day, and not everyone can put in that time when it comes to leveling, even though 4 hours per day might not sound like a lot to every single person. If you, some people can't commit 4 hours every day on average to a video game, right, especially for a pre-patch when you're also scheduling time off to play TBC at the launch. So, yeah. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. I'm both happy and not happy at the same time. I think the game would be better without the boost, but I've been calling it ever since Anniversary came out in the first place that these boosts would be unlimited, because why not? Way more people right now are accepting of the boost in the first place, and like way more people are buying gold when it comes to percentage based. A bigger percentage of the player base is buying gold now than in 2019. A bigger percentage of the player base is also buying mage boost right now than in 2019. Also, a bigger percentage of the player base will buy this boost right here than they did in 2019. In 2021, like when we got the first level 58 boost, people slash spit on people that bought the boost. Now it's more like people celebrate, you know? The mindset has shifted a lot, and to me this was an obvious decision by Blizzard, because not a lot of people will be mad about this, and they will print money. It is a good business decision, but is it good for the game?
Like 200 comments instantly is crazy. So even if people think I'm an idiot, I like getting some discussion and getting some discourse going. So all right, guys, that's it for now. I'm gonna go out and enjoy my Saturday evening. Maybe have a drink or two, and I'll see you real soon. Take it easy.
There we go. That was a good yap session, by the way. That was a good, natty yap session. I enjoyed that. Some important questions to be asked, and just a important topic to talk about as well, you know? I obviously have my takes. They might not be the right takes, but they're my takes. It's my opinions. That was a good video! As we say every single time, that was a good video, by the way. Let's go.